thanks for being here. And listen, congratulations on the 30-odd minutes that I've seen so far. I'm sure, like all of you in the room, we're like, no, when it ended, because we just want to see the rest. So excited to see the rest of this film. Congratulations.
Spoiler alert, that there is nothing else.
That's it?
Yep.
We've got to wait another 6 years for the next bit?
I don't know what this unwritten rule is that a movie has to be over 37 minutes.
Am I right in thinking that you wrapped, 2 weeks ago? Is that fair?
Oh, no.
Oh,
yeah,
you kind of
no,
not wrapped, but you in post.
Yes.
You kind of finished 2 weeks ago.
In fact, we were tweaking visual effect shots in the car on the way to an event in Seoul, Korea.
Yeah.
Because we don't ever want to let go, and we sort of never want to stop making this movie.
Yeah.
But now we get to share it with the world, which is exciting.
Thank you.
Oh, Dogpool's on the loose.
neutralized.
Dogpool is on the
She
loose.
must
smells
be
the chicken.
neutralized.
That's
She can
Jules.
be very dangerous.
That's Jules.
We'll see if she
who
can be happy up here. If not,
Transformed.
Yeah.
If not, she can always go down. If she doesn't want to stay, she can.
Ryan.
Yes. Sorry.
It's fine. Your hand's enough on her. I think it's fine. Yeah.
Focused
And
on-
also it distracts you as well. Just have a thought.
Oh, Mary Poppins, and she's on the move. She's on the run.
She wants
And now
mum.
you see her
Does her own
stunt work
stunts
too.
as well.
She wants
Yeah.
mum. It is a movie about friendship, and we can clearly see who Dogpool's favourite person is. There we go.
Well,
There we go.
100%. Jules, yeah, Dogpool is wow, look at that spectacle. She's like 90% of her body weight is nipples. It's just, I don't quite understand the physics, but yes.
How does it feel that this is now kind of being unveiled and that kind of commitment to the story of these two characters is finally getting aired?
I mean, it's incredibly gratifying, but I don't think I can take credit for that. I mean, it's sort of tantamount to I wished upon a star that Hugh would one day put the yellow suit on and be Wolverine alongside me and as Deadpool, and I tried my very first pitch to Marvel was a Deadpool and Wolverine movie, sort of with a Rashomon story where the first act is of course subjective as a Rashomon story should be, but the first act is just through the prism of my experience. So I see Wolverine a certain way. The second act is Wolverine sees me a certain way. The third act is the objective experience. I pitched that, and he didn't use these exact words, but he was like Kevin was like no. I think there was an absolutely not, and the exit's that way. And
now all I hear is sequel.
Yes.
Now
right?
thank you for pitching our sequel here.
But I just finished pitching a short where Deadpool is interrogating a guy, and we come to find that he's the hunter that shot Bambi.
Wow.
And
it's crazy that they passed on that.
Yeah, and Disney was like, we don't fuck with Bambi. I was like, oh, okay, sorry, I didn't know it was a sacred cow. How many other mothers have you people killed? I mean, every movie, the mother, yeah. So anyway, I had, the first pitch was that, and then 5 years later, it was actually Hugh who, we were on our kind of sort of last hurrah with it. We had written another movie that Sean and I were going to pivot to.
Wow.
And Hugh called, and I can let him tell that part of the story. But that's sort of really how it came to be.
What made you want to kind of get back into the?
I was broke. I was doing theater.
Yeah, theaters. Yeah. It's just the love of the game. Yeah.
It's a killer.
I mean, his nighttime skincare routine alone would bankrupt you. I mean, it's where these products come from. I don't even know.
So the truth is, I meant what I said when I said I'm done, that Logan was going to be my last. I announced it before we'd shot Logan, and about 3 days after that, I saw Deadpool 1. So what's that, 2016? And about 15 minutes into the movie, I was like, oops, maybe I should have watched this first. But then for the next 4 or 5 years, I could see those two characters together. I was watching the movie, all I kept thinking about was 48 Hours, The Odd Couple, Planes, Trains, Automobiles. I could see how these two characters would work. And then I can tell you the date, August 14th. I was doing theatre, August 14th, 2022, and I was driving, and it came to me like that I wanted to do it again, that I wanted to do it with Ryan playing Deadpool, and I wanted these two characters together. And I knew that Sean and Ryan were about to shoot, or somewhere on the process. And
Not
so
even close.
I pulled up. I thought they were about to shoot, so I pulled over the side of the road, and I rang Ryan, and I said,
Wow.
Ryan, I want to do this. Please tell me you'll do this. Please tell me. I really want to do it.
So like when these in the modern era, when someone like calls you on the phone. Like Hugh called me, and I was like,
emergency.
"What's going on? Are you dead? Like, why are you on the phone with me?" But
And
something
there was a
big happening.
pause. There was a pause, and he said that this timing is amazing because we're about to have a meeting to pitch our last pitch to Marvel in about 3 hours.
Oh my God.
And you can take over from there. Do you
I
want
mean,
to
yeah,
take
it's just it was I won't belabor, but it was as simple as just kind of fake it till you make it on the Zoom with Kevin and the team. We sort of bullshitted our way through it with Sean and I kind of said, well, what about we got a call? It feels serendipitous. It feels this is crazy, but Hugh called today and said he wants to come back. And I know Kevin and I we went down this road before, and then we kind of loosely pitched a movie that was just fly by the seat of our pants. Like it wasn't, and it actually became.
Yeah, because as soon as Hugh called, as soon as we contemplated this duo, finally, this story, this duo, it gave this third Deadpool movie its why. It gave us the heart of this story, and it's given us the heart of the movie.
And the how also came together quite quickly after that because Logan is very sacred. I mean, we all revere that film and Hugh's performance. So finding the how was really interesting. But once we locked into that, in large part to Hugh and his sort of thought process around the role and the character, it was just so much fun. And writing this kind of movie, you don't really write the comedy as much. You kind of come back to that. You have to write a movie that just works emotionally, has that strong emotional arc. Then you go back, and then it's just like the fun part. You're just
Well, that was one of the things I wanted to ask you because just hearing you talk about how quick you had to react to Hugh reaching out and going, let's do it, to you then having the pitch that it feels like it's come from a genuine, real place of friendship and trust and a relationship that's been poured into the story in a way. Is that fair?
I mean, we were talking about it this morning, and I don't mean to sound esoteric about it or a little too sappy or emotional, but like we really feel like the three of us kind of loved each other into this moment when the way this movie turned out, because it's rare that you have an experience that is kind of peerless, and then that experience somehow is even better on the screen, and the movies just feel so complete and and also different, like a different type of movie for the MCU, which we're all immensely proud of. It's a yeah.
Navigating that really fine line though of that tone, like you talk about, Deadpool's got an existing expectation from an audience of kind of what they're looking forward to seeing more of. But you've got to balance that out with that emotional hit with this because of this relationship and this friendship and what you want thematically this to be about. How do you navigate that line?
Well, Sean's so good with theme, and he's done it, and he's scored in every genre you can think of with that, the grounding stakes and kind of understanding theme and tone. But
yeah,
I think he speaks for himself. I don't want to.
Occasionally I speak for myself, but I love that I don't have to.
All right.
That's the job, right? Tone is the job. And as Ryan said, we come to this with the same reverence and love of these characters as all of us have. So that was the North Star. What feels honest for Wade, what feels honest for Logan. But really, the unlocking of this movie is the magic thing that happens when you combine not only these two characters, but these two actors. And that led to a movie that has a lot of heart and a lot of emotion. You all saw, I think, the first 35 minutes or so. What we can't show you yet, but soon enough we will, is the rest of the movie, which goes to kind of poignant places and ultimately a movie about friendship. And I think the emotion of the movie might be one of its most subversive elements.
And also, it was such a treat to write dialogue for Wolverine and for Deadpool, where we're straddling this line of it's almost like it's Ryan and Hugh speaking to each other as friends who've known each other for almost 2 decades and been through a lot together. And he and I are very outwardly jokey, but in real life most of our conversations are intense and emotional and about life and all kinds of stuff. So it really, it was.
It's true. While we were grooming together this morning.
Yes, while we were getting.
As friends do.
While we were getting our lips done.
Why did we not do a press conference there?
Yeah, right. Let's do
And
this. Start there.
having played Wolverine for now it's 24 years.
I think you can say quarter of a century.
Quarter of a century.
I was
99
4.
so almost 25.
Emma was 4.
I was 4 years old.
I hate you. So these guys and the other writers wrote for Wolverine. You didn't see, but there's one monologue I get which has more countable words than I've used in an entire movie playing Wolverine. And there are parts of the character that I'd pitched in different versions and tried to get across, and I can't tell you what it is, but it was something that I've been scratching at, and these guys hit it. And it was so thrilling. I don't know, something about maybe being at my age at this time of my life and with friends and playing the character and having such joy, and I feel so invigorated playing him again. And I think fans are going to see a whole different side, which I'm really, really excited about. But these guys wrote so generously and with incredible detail and love for the character, as they do for all the characters.
Rob, how does Peter feel about this friendship? I mean...
Oh, I think he supports it with his whole heart. I mean, he's so excited. What's unique about Peter is that, yeah, he's in the world, but he's also legitimately a capital F fan of the guys. So he's very happy to see them flourish and to just be on the periphery going, go guys.
I mean, he's kind of been through it all as well, and it's great to have him back, in a way as well. So, it's...
Oh, beyond thrilling, yeah, because Peter, wasn't in the comic books. They created him out of whole cloth for Deadpool 2. And so to be there at the genesis of Peter and then have people like him enough to bring him back was so thrilling. So just an honor.
We like him. Peter died with all of X-Force in Deadpool 2. We brought him back from the dead in the coda.
No, I remember.
Because it was so much fun working with Rob and the humanity he brings. And Rob, if you know him, he's a subversive and, a deeply troubling individual, and yet he presents with this sort of Ned Flanders sweetness, a guy whose only superpower is type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Just one of my favorite all-time. And I'd say Peter in Blind Owl. Leslie Uggams, who couldn't be here today, which actually literally kills me that she couldn't, are just emotional anchors for my character, and I just love playing in the sandbox with them.
One of the many things I'm excited to see the rest of the film, Emma, is to see Cassandra and to see your performance as this character. Talk to me a little bit about what it was like for you to have this kind of playground to enter and to create, in terms of who Cassandra is and what they would be.
That's a great word. It was a playground. Like from the minute that I sort of was first approached by Sean, and you gave me the pitch of a lifetime. And do you remember when you guys were saying the story about, I was also doing theatre when I got the call, so didn't hesitate. Also, I don't know if you remember, Sean, I just got a chemical peel.
Yes.
So I decided to get a chemical peel whilst I was on stage in the West End. Don't do it. I didn't really know what it was. My whole face shed, and burn off
It was
my face.
very red.
Very hot.
Very
What
red.
happened to Peggy?
Yeah, exactly what happened to Peggy. And I remember my team saying, we've got this meeting, and I was so excited for it, but I was like, I can't do this. I mean, I look like I've had a terrible accident. It's not great. And then I Googled Cassandra, and I was like, oh, I'm fine, because she looks fucked. But I had such a great chat with Sean, and from that moment, hearing your ideas, and then Ryan, when we started chatting about Cassandra, you brought so much to the table in terms of creating this amazing space where you had a real idea of what you wanted and needed her to be for the film and to be part of this incredible friendship story and what she was going to add, but there was also so much freedom to bring stuff that I also discovered along the way. Yeah.
Would you describe her as a villain?
I think she's totally the hero of her own storyline. I think she doesn't really think of herself as one. I think she's just doing exactly what she wants when she wants, in a nice way that sort of, she could wake up and be like, today I want to be nice. But then, oh no, I don't feel like it anymore. And yeah,
I want to be Cassandra now.
Yeah. Yeah.
How helpful are those kind of tools in terms of costume, makeup and props and stuff? How helpful is that in terms of completely inhabiting a world and a character?
I mean, I always find those bits helpful. It's kind of the last section that you zip up into that person totally, and then you're there. But especially for this role, because I had this bald cap, and there was always a moment in makeup where they were like, right, put down your phone, because I had these prosthetic fingers on. And literally from that point, there was nothing I could do apart from, I couldn't even go to the bathroom alone. It was humbling. There was one person who came to set who thought they were my real fingers and took someone aside and was like, Emma's fingers are... I was like, God.
That was Blake. She still feels like she had her foot in her mouth on that one.
I love it. It was incredible. And it really changes the way having that sort of extension of your hands really changes the way you sort of carry your arms and everything, which was really helpful because all of Cassandra's power comes through, if not her mind, her gesture. So, yeah, it helps.
It's so interesting watching you all kind of think about what you're about to say, of that idea of not giving anything away, which I might...
Oh, I hate it. It's the worst way to talk.
We live in constant terror.
And I've been on the brink of disaster 6 times in the last couple of days, where I'm like, oh, that's when it happens, and just like your brain stops, you thank God, but it's jet lag and...
Yeah, you gave away Like a Prayer, as in the movie.
That's. But I'm okay with that one because that's pretty front and center in our marketing. Yeah.
But never normally makes in the full film, but I'm excited to see it in there because music's such a big part of it. But Sean, you haven't worked with these guys before, but was it a different experience working with them in this world and this, or?
Yeah, it surprised me in a way because I'd worked with Hugh on Real Steel, and Ryan and I had made Free Guy and Atom Project, but when these guys, and I know we all felt this, when they step onto set in the yellow, in the red, and my buddies become something else, they become iconic. And there were many moments for our crew, but even for me, and I didn't admit it as often as I felt it because I had to retain some perch of authority. But when it's, oh, fuck, that's the Wolverine. Fucking Deadpool. Like, you fan out.
Keep it calm.
Outside, calm, authoritative. Inside, flipping out. Because you see these actors and these buddies elevate to something larger than life. And to tell a story that is character anchored, but about characters who are larger than life. That's a really juicy opportunity as a storyteller.
How you're able to convey so much story in someone who's in a suit and a mask all the time as well is mental. Like, it's kind of, to be able to convey different emotions whilst we can't see your face a lot of the time is...
Yeah, well, I mean, the first time I ever put the suit on was back in 2015. I took a camera crew just for the day for myself, just in the studio, just to work that out. But it's honestly, it's clown work. It's just straight clown work. Like, your hands, your voice, your mannerisms, the slightest movement, the largest movement, they're all basically conveying microfacial expressions that I can't use, So my voice has to do that kind of heavy lifting, and same with my body. And I actually never feel freer than when I'm under that mask. And then when I take the mask off, there's a prosthetic my whole face is prosthetic
another
makeup,
mask.
and it's basically another mask. Yeah, and again, I feel like a whole different brand of free. So I really love it, and I don't take it for granted.
And we as an audience, and I know Emma and Rob and Hugh and Wendy and I, all of us, we every day would remember, man, we take Deadpool as this amazing, iconic character, but there is no one else, no other performer now or ever who could do what Ryan does, to do such a vivid character without the main tool of an actor, one's face. It was incredible, and the physical performance, the vocal control and nuance that Ryan does intuitively and brilliantly, it's a marvel to watch, isn't it?
I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad you mentioned it, Edith, because it's incredible to watch. I've known Rai for 17 years, and he's incredibly, incredibly talented and funny. But to see the specificity, to see the detail, to see... I mean, actors are often saying, where's the camera? Are we here? Well, you hear that all the time. But I'm on set and Ryan's going, can you see my hand? What if I do it up here? Is my hand here? What about my shoulders? And it's because he's communicating with every part of his body. And it is... And when you go to Ryan's house, which I do a lot because he's very rarely there as a father, but... That's okay to say, isn't it?
Oh, it's funny because it's true.
But there's always a TV playing with TCM Turner, classic movie, and it's often Buster Keaton. It's often these sort of greats. And I'm on set going, oh, I see. This is a modern day Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin. This is that level of expertise. You don't have to be a great dad when you've got that talent.
Nope.
You don't.
Not at all.
Your kids will, a lot of therapy,
all.
they'll forgive you eventually.
They will pave over all of that trauma with daddy's accomplishments. And you know, the kids of celebrities, they're fine. Yeah. Actually, the one thing because the headline will be Deadbeat Dad talks about the movie. So I will say though, the one thing that this strike really screwed us on was this was meticulously planned for all of us and our kids. Talk about an uptown problem. But to have our kids in London for the entire summer, to wrap this movie 2 days before school starts, and then off we go. And was it Lennon that said the best life is what happens when you're busy making plans? John Lennon, not
I was
the
going to
Russian.
say, wow, where are we going now with this?
I actually want to talk about Marxism today.
I see people waving at us over here, but I don't know what it means.
Oh.
It means that I've got to stop asking you questions and
yes,
being so
okay.
selfish and open up to our
Others
audience.
get to ask questions?
Pardon?
Others?
Yeah, I'm afraid
Fantastic.
so. Yeah.
I love it.
So much insight and so many more questions I have, but I do have to throw it out. If you have a question in the room, please raise your hand. Wait till the mic gets to you because we have got mics. And for those guys who are watching remotely, please ask your questions by using the Q&A function in the webinar. And we're going to start in the room with Alex Taylor at the BBC. Alex, where are you? Because you brilliantly sent your question in advance, so I thought I would start with you, which crosses both worlds. Alex, where are you? There he is. Can we get a mic to Alex,
Hi, Alex.
please? Thanks, Alex.
Yes, so I just wondered, now that you've actually had to pair up, and you've actually made it happen after all of these years, I just wondered, having a look at all of the time, lines and all that, having to merge everything. Who else in the MCU would you like to actually pair up with next? Or have,
That's a good question.
Yeah.
like battle with next?
Future pair-ups.
And why?
I cannot even imagine thinking about what's next after this. I just loved a couple of things about this particular film, which is that, I feel like it, sometimes you can get really lucky with timing. I feel like Deadpool 1 was a great beneficiary of a cultural landscape that was, changing quite rapidly, and we got pretty lucky to be in the right place at the right time. And I feel like this movie's also that, writing lines like, Deadpool, deliriously believing that he's the Messiah, or Marvel Jesus. I mean, these are things that were written before any kind of analysis of a larger systemic storytelling issue might be at play in the media. So, I'm really lucky in that way. But so, in terms of a pairing, Alex, I don't really know. I mean, I love being able to do a movie that is it's in and of itself just a movie. It's not Deadpool and Wolverine isn't a commercial for another movie. There's it's just not part of the DNA. So I don't know.
You're so lucky because a lot of people don't know how jealous Wolverine can be, and if you mentioned anyone else, I will kill them.
I know, right? Just the claws come out.
Particularly if it's another Australian. If it's another Australian superhero, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So Thor is out.
Thor is out.
Okay, so not Thor.
Paul Hogan
love you, Chris.
is a
Paul.
non-starter for Hugh. Yeah. I mean,
Crocodile
unless this
Dundee,
man
actually.
has had
Let's bring
17
Crocodile
hours
Dundee.
sleep, he's going to be pretty grumpy. Yeah.
Thank you so much
Thanks,
for your
Alex.
question, Alex. Sean, this is from Jacques from France. Says, what's the first thing that cinema should bring, magic or emotion?
I think emotion is magic. And I think that is the job of the movies.
Nice, great answer. That was so great.
Just
Really
throw
come
the
over
mic on the
here
ground
with the
and
mic.
get out.
Yeah. Well, that was
Because
an
you've done
actual
what you
mic
need
drop.
And it was brief.
Yeah.
Okay, just in here we go. Thanks. Hi, if you can just say your name and where you're from, please, thanks.
Yasmin Candil for discussing film. I actually had the great pleasure of working on this film for a week, the first week back from the strikes. And you kind of touched on the negative aspects of coming back from the strikes there. But do you guys feel in any degree that break enriched the film? Did you get to sit with the characters a bit more?
I mean, first off, what did you do on the?
I was in the AD department.
Oh, right on. Oh, cool. So you only worked on for a week?
Yeah, I did the first
Did you
week
blow
back
it?
from the
What
strike.
happened?
Someone has to do the dailies.
We're a soft crowd, so I don't. Yeah. Yes. Did the strike? The question is, did the strike enrich the? My God. I mean, if you could, from a fiscal point of view, stop a movie in the middle, stop the whole industry. No, stop a movie right in the middle, assess everything that you have, edit the film, edit the hour of footage you have, put it together, and then just zoom out. One of the things that I realize I'm so lucky to have in this partnership with Sean, and certainly this partnership with Hugh, what is that? I don't want to say Hugh, is this ability to pivot, but do it responsibly, right? It's not impetuous. We're all mindful of budgets and time constraints, and the idea that too much time and too much money will kind of annihilate creativity in a lot of ways. So I love it. We're just dumpster divers. We scavenge we use every opportunity, good or bad, to sort of tell the story. And many of even the constraints coming from the top down at Marvel, we use to our own benefit. So, man, coming back after the strike, I mean, we had entire character arcs that
Well, we
changed.
talk a lot about you got to listen to your movie. Whatever your initial intentions were, listen to your movie. It's going to tell you what it wants to be. We edited the hour of the movie that we had shot. So we were able to sit and listen to our movie, and when we came back...
Yeah, we all watched it, which was crazy.
Oh,
because
and we shared it,
I
right,
hadn't
yeah.
started shooting yet. I was meant to start in the summer, and then the strike happened. So when I came back, these guys were like, "Well, just watch the film," and then just it said Cassandra here. So I just it was incredible. I could see completely what the movie, obviously because you shoot out of chronological order all of the time, it's quite confusing when you have your first day or whatever, because you don't really know what you're catching up with in the place that you're at in the movie. So I could literally see what you wanted her to be and what you needed her to be in those moments in terms of this epic narrative arc that you'd created. It was incredible.
And we wouldn't have had you, Penny.
Yeah.
Barbara.
Week was
Good
so
luck
brief.
in your future endeavors.
Too brief.
Sicily. No. It was
This
a
is
memorable
from
week.
Eva from Spain, who says, for Emma, what was it like to play Xavier's sibling?
Ooh, I mean, pressure, I guess. I did rewatch both Patrick Stewart and James McAvoy's performances, which I still can't tell if that was a good thing or if it scared the living daylights out of me. But there was something that I was really interested in of when your power is so much in your mind, how that is portrayed on screen. Mm-hmm. I think I figured out if you just pretend you're sort of doing really hard, or if you actually try and do really hard maths problems. And then you sort of have that kind of lingering, what are they thinking about sort of thing happening. But basically a lot of fun, and very honoured to join that sort of double act, yeah.
Eva, thank you for your question. If we can get a microphone on somewhere on this side, just there we go, yeah, there. Great, and then we'll come over here in a sec. Hello.
Hello, hi, my name is Hassan from Geek House Show. You've both been playing these characters, throughout the years magnificently, and you've both been in two of the best comic book movies in the genre, in Deadpool and Logan. What makes this movie, Deadpool and Wolverine, specifically, unique and different in comparison to the other movies in the genre itself, and how do you keep these characters fresh and different every time you play them? Thank you.
I want to first give it up to these guys as, not obviously Ryan as a star, but as writers, he and Sean, and as producers. Their DNA is very much in this movie, which I think is tailor-made for audience delight and joy, and humor, but also heart. And I think that's really what these guys brought every single day. And I think on top of that, these two characters together, I was thinking about Midnight Run just before. There's so many movies where you see that kind of juxtaposition of two characters that seem very different, but actually have a lot in common. It's just a beautiful way in, and it's certainly different for me than anything I've done as Wolverine. And I think for audiences, it'll feel very different. And there's the reason I really wanted to come back in this way, because I thought, that's something we haven't explored before. So And I think I just felt invigorated. I honestly, I mean, Logan is, 200 years old, and I think being like 95 myself, it really helps. But being old, it helps. And also, I'd said no to it, I'd let it go. I thought I'd come to peace with it, but when you come back because you desperately want to, and particularly in this form, in this way, I relished every single day. So it felt incredibly fresh, and as I was hinting at, there's different sides of the character that I wanted to play.
And I'll briefly just say that necessity is the mother of invention, and it's every sort of impediment or roadblock. But Logan, how do we deal with that? How do we deal? Became the key to unlocking something magical and amazing and something that truly made sense for the how and the why of the movie. I can't really say much more than that, but it really did every one of those impediments turned into solid gold. I'm just grateful. Again, what Sean said is we listened to the movie. You listen to the shot list and the script exclusively, you're gonna get lost. You can make a good movie, but I don't think you can make a great movie unless you're really listening to the whole thing. Yeah.
I mean, even in the footage that we've all seen, the different versions of Wolverine that you get to play, even in that kind of, that in itself must have been a great opportunity to just kind of play with the extremes of where it could go in a way.
I was given on X-Men 1, I was given something by a fan, and I had it up actually in my bedroom in Australia, and it was framed, and it had all the different cards, like playing cards, of Wolverine, all the different versions. So as we were going through it, and I was like, oh, tick, 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 tick. It was so cool, because that had been there for 24 years, and it was amazing to play it all. It's just to dress up in different ways and punch the hell out of Deadpool, it just killed him. It's awesome. It's great fun.
The only Wolverine I really felt like we missed was an actual Wolverine, which many people don't know is the largest member of the Weasel family, the North American Wolverine, and just also a real dumpster diver. Yeah. Just would have snacked on Peggy right there like it was no one's business.
Peggy, who is taking a really deep nap.
I want to be Peggy when I grow up. Just being caressed to sleep. Oh God,
We're going to go to Denmark. That's okay.
Denmark.
Charlotte from Denmark, for Ryan and Hugh. In the film, there's a direct reference to Denmark. Do you have a connection to Denmark, and have you ever visited?
Listen, Denmark, that was a joke. I don't think they do a 1 week on, 1 week off sort of work schedule. I think the line is, you'll never see a Danish flag on the moon, but God damn it, they're happy. But I have been to Denmark and Copenhagen many times. I realize those aren't separate things. I've been in Copenhagen, which exists in Denmark, and it's a beautiful place. But yeah, no, it's Denmark. They know how to live right there.
Which is the basis of that
screw
joke.
around.
Yeah.
It was meant as a compliment. Okay, next person, we've been on over this side, please. Someone there, if you can't, that'd be great. Thanks. Thank you. Hello.
Hello, I'm Stan from Belgium. It's nice to be talking to you. This is a question from Ryan and Hugh. So you got a chance to revisit those characters and really see all the flavors they could bring. Which other characters from your filmography would you like to give it a new taste to, be it sweet or spicy?
Any other characters you've played in your career?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with his stage work or whatever it is that he does in his spare time. His little tap dancing gig. But I would like to, I'll say this, if I could do one movie from his filmography.
I like this is good.
It would definitely be The Greatest Showman. I'm not saying I'd do it well. I'm actually guaranteeing it wouldn't go very well at all. But my kids are obsessed. I walked into my house one day and I heard my kids watch Greatest Showman all the time. And as I came around the corner, they're all singing along. And it was one of the most beautiful moments I've ever had with this guy right here. Is this guy standing in front of the television while the movie's playing, acting out all of the movie with my kids. And I'm like, you little bastards have no idea how good you have it right now. Like, you won't appreciate this for 20 years. And it was a magical moment. So that's the one I would probably make. My filmography is just literally untouchable. When you get something to a certain level in a bar, you just, anything after that's going to go straight down, straight to hell in a handbasket. What do you say, Hugh? Which movie do you want to make?
It is untouchable.
1997's Boltneck, is that what you want to do? Huh?
I wouldn't mind revisiting Van Helsing. Just aesthetically, maybe not do the hair extensions. Maybe I'll look at that.
Yeah. No, questionable hair in Van Helsing. And teeth. Yep.
Love it. Everyone's imagination has just gone crazy. Miriam from France, for Ryan. Why do you think people like anti-heroes? Do you think their villainous side makes them more human, making it easier to identify with them?
Well, I mean, I think when I think about like heroes, like when I think about Superman, I find Clark Kent to be interesting. Like that's the part, not Superman, Clark Kent. So like when you're thinking about heroes, we love to see how fallible they are. That's the thing that is interesting. And I think with anti-heroes, we want to see their humanity. And their humanity is the thing that that draws them from rest to effort and takes them in a direction that I think is inspiring. I think you'll relate to anti-heroes in many ways because we all feel a little bit like that. We're all kind of in touch with we don't acknowledge our dark side as much, but anti-heroes seem to kind of live authentically in that skin, and there's something quite enviable about it. I would love to be Deadpool. I mean, I would love to have that kind of freedom that he has.
Yeah, he says so much that we're all scared to say, basically.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Back to the room, please. If we get someone on this side, please, if you can get a microphone, and then we'll probably get one more. Go on, just pick some. There's so many hands up. Sorry, I'll come to you soon. Hello.
Hi. Firstly, thank you for creating such an incredible movie. My name's Olivia, and I'm with Cineworld. I just wanted to know, there's been a lot of speculation around this movie, and obviously without confirming or denying what's true, what's the wildest rumor that you guys have heard about what's to come?
Oh boy. And please fuel it.
I heard a rumor that King Charles was in the film.
That's true.
No shit. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And we had a moment where we thought, could we make that happen?
Should we make that happen?
I don't know. How does that
We had a
play
whole
out?
conversation based on that very strange rumor. And we'll neither confirm nor deny whether we acted on it.
Confirmation right there. Nice job.
I'm trying to play a cagey.
Yes, right?
I
no,
like
not
that.
cagey.
Wow, fuel
Yeah,
it.
that was a big one. Yeah.
I'd heard there was a full song and dance number for Wolverine. I heard that one.
I heard that too.
Naked.
In an earlier draft, though,
I added
there
the naked
was.
bit, but there was the rumor about the song and dance.
Hard
So there actually, in an earlier pitch of the film, there was a dance number set to Elton John's. I guess that's why they call it the blues. Oh, really? Yeah, which exists somewhere in a file on my laptop now.
Wow.
I guess that's why they call it the fucking blues.
Anger, rage.
Yeah, totally.
Just as Elton would have wanted it. Yeah.
Wendy,
Yeah.
question for you, please, if that's all right as well, about the conversations around having freedom to play with Marvel and Disney and the image and kind of having, given that freedom but getting that balance right. I was really interested about the kind of conversations around that.
So curious too, Wendy. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
I don't think there was too much arm twisting, right? We all kind of went in eyes wide open, knowing we were making a Deadpool movie. I do remember one conversation with Kevin where we were talking about one specific insult, and I thought he said it very well, where he said, everything's fair game with Deadpool, nothing is sacred, and so to be made fun of by Deadpool is actually a badge of honor. So, yeah, I think everyone was fair game to play with the image of Marvel.
We had incredible freedom. I kind of kept waiting for the lines to be drawn, and they never were. So we really, we drew our own lines, and if it made sense for story, we were empowered to do it.
Also, the character in and of itself is not cynical. So there's not. I mean, Deadpool's never like, punching down or take. I take shots at me, Ryan Reynolds, a lot. Deadpool takes shots at himself. I mean, I feel like Disney's kind of Fortune 50 fair game, gigantic capitalist machine. Don't feel like I'm gonna get a lot of hate mail over that, but fun. I mean, my God, like 100,000 years of storytelling at that studio, and getting to sort of play in that sandbox was pretty cool.
We've run out of time, but we've got a room
come
full
on,
of...
couple
I
more.
would stay here for days. We've got a room full of journalists and also journalists watching online who sometimes get asked to supply quotes for posters and things with a movie in one word. So I thought I would throw it back on you guys. What word would you use to describe Deadpool and Wolverine?
Ravishing.
I like it.
Yeah. Rambunctious, what does that mean? It's a nice
Sounds great.
It just sounds nice.
Yeah.
It does,
you know?
yeah. A lot of
Delicious.
Couldn't tell you what it meant.
Delicious.
Iconic.
Orgasmic.
Orgasmic?
Hugh. My God.
Audacious.
That's what I was thinking about.
Audacious is the one, I
Audacious
think.
is good.
I think
I
we'll,
think
we'll
we'll do
land on that.
audacious.
I do
I
like
love
that.
that. Yeah, let's go with that. Sorry,
Yeah.
Ryan, we're going with audacious.
No, it
Sorry,
was
Ryan.
good. My second choice was bouillabaisse. It doesn't make any sense, but it is a fun. It rolls off the tongue in a really delightful.
What about like
It's like a party in your
above
mouth.
average? I know that's too, but above average.
Yeah, above average. Yeah. Well, it could be a
That's
hyphenate.
good, yeah.
I don't know. You know.
Yeah.
It's a good one too. We could go for
Is
Dave.
there any crazy pressing questions that one person has that
I
I
feel
feel like
down the
we've
front.
Oh, you
kinda
had to do
blabbered
it,
on?
Gentleman wearing the
Ryan.
I
LFG
know. I'm so
shirt is-
sorry. Yeah, someone
You
just
had-
effed the schedule for the whole
the
This
day.
guy in the front, actually,
Down the
because he's...
Yeah,
With the LFG T-shirt, I could see the
Yeah.
disappointment.
Yeah,
Hit
there we
it.
go. There we
And the
go.
And he's
dolls,
got-
I just saw the
Yeah,
dolls.
Has he got... He's got
Okay,
toys and things.
Guys, it's amazing to have you here. I think for Hugh and Ryan, obviously, given the fact that these characters famously love and hate each other so very much, and you are clearly positioned in these very comfortable, very therapeutic-looking chairs, I wondered if you could just take a brief moment, look deep into each other's eyes, perhaps souls, and tell us what it is that you love and perhaps hate the most about each other in these.
I'm
All
so
the time
regretting
we have
asking
it, so
you.
just,
I'm really
running
regretting.
out of runway
I chose
here. We were
you.
expecting a bit of a yes or
Yeah.
no answer, and you just
Wow.
fucking really
We're
ripped
over
it for
time,
everybody.
everything.
And the hills are alive. with
No,
the
that's good. So I
sound.
heard the question is, what do I hate about Ryan?
Yeah. Oh
What
my
do I
God.
hate?
So is it 10
Let me
things I
count
hate
the
about you, which is
ways.
Hugh's favorite movie, also the one that got away. Boy,
Hi.
I would say though, I would say that I've really never met somebody with the level of integrity. I can look at him. I can do this.
You can look at him.
The level of integrity that Hugh Jackman has. My very first memory of him is in 2007 or 2008. Don't forget, I'm not very good with that years, but on the movie X-Men Origins Wolverine, ironically the last time Hollywood was gripped by a writer's strike.
Yeah.
Incredibly tough movie to make. I watched this guy operate that set. He's a big movie star, and I was in the presence of somebody who was not only great, but they were kind and grounded and sort of understood the mission of unity on that set and knew everybody's name. And I remember thinking to myself, if I'm ever lucky enough to be in his position, I hope I'm just 1/10 of that man. I hope that I can take 1/10 of the lessons I'm imbibing in this moment and be that guy. And now that I'm so much bigger than him, and I'm sort of the Death Star, and he's kind of like an X-wing, schmuck, sort of floating around the universe. I've taken many of those lessons and realized that too big to fail at this point. So I just kind of crush my enemies, the blood of my enemies. I'd like to drink that. No, Hugh is the best. What you see is what you get. He's as advertised. It's he is everything you want, you wish he was, and more. Yeah, genuinely.
That's a lot of eye
you
contact. Let's just leave it there.
A
Yeah.
lot of
I
heavy,
think-
That's a
heavy
lot of
eye
eye
contact.
contact.
Yeah.
That was
I
good.
didn't even blink. I don't even need to lubricate my eyeballs as I look at you right now. I'm just lost in
Thank
his manly Australianness.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that last question.
Thank you.
Listen, 25th of July can't come quick enough for us all to see it in cinemas. Thank you for your questions in the room. Everybody else around the world, wherever you are. To you guys, our wonderful panel, please put your hands together, please, for Wendy, Rob, Emma, Hugh, Ryan, and Sean, everybody. Thank you so much, folks.